looking horse Phar Lap was a dark chestnut colt that was a racing horse during the times of the Great Depression. Throughout his career, he won over 66,738 pounds within the 5 years that he lived. He was more than just a racehorse though. He was a symbol of hope to the people of Australia during those dark times. He gave the Australians something to be proud of. The thoroughbred was bred in New Zealand and foaled in Timaru on the 28th of October 1926. He was later sold at an auction for a mere £168, the lowest price of a horse that day. The brother of a Sydney trainer, Harry Telford, had convinced David J., a wealthy businessman, to put up money for the horse. However, neither of them had seen the horse yet and was very unimpressed when they first saw Phar Lap. To compromise, David leased Telford the horse for 3 years on the condition that he trained him for free and that if he won any money, that he was entitled to 2/3 of the takings. Telford had bought Phar Lap based on his large size and good pedigree. However, after his first few races, he started to doubt his purchase. On the track, he was clumsy and weak and constantly tripping over his feet, coming dead last in every race he entered. Even off the track, he was mischievous and would often pull the trainer's hair or tear the shirt of the stable boys. It seemed that it would take a miracle for Phar Lap to be successful. This came in 1929 when Phar Lap won a race. This was a maiden race though, made up of horses that had never won a race. This didn't take long for Phar Lap's career to kick off though, with a series of wins including the Rosehill Guineas and the AJC Derby. He soon turned into a serious competitor and went on to compete at the 1929 Melbourne Cup as the favourite of Australia's biggest race. Being too headstrong though, he had made the mistake of taking the lead too early and came in 3rd place. The following year, he won more than 12 races and went on to be the favourite for the Melbourne Cup again 4 months before it was due. Phar Lap and his jockey James Pike won the Melbourne Cup and made history by becoming the first odds-on favourite to win the event. This was also despite the fact that Phar Lap was carrying 15 pounds more weight than the weight of most horses his age. He returned home with a total of 12,429 pounds in winnings. Phar Lap entered the Melbourne Cup again the following year and was the favourite again. However, in an attempt to even the odds, the Victorian Racing Club handicapped him by making him carry an additional 8 stones, equal to 68 kilograms. Although Telford did not want Phar Lap to race in those conditions, David did not share the same concern and didn't heed the warning. In what became his last race in Australia, he finished in 8th place. Soon after though, Phar Lap was given the opportunity to race in the Agua Caliente Handicap in Tijuana, Mexico. His owners jumped at the chance to see how Phar Lap would fare against North America's best horses. When the offer was accepted, Phar Lap had a long journey by ship and then horse van. He arrived to find an unfamiliar course and climate. The Mexican heat and the dirt track were completely different to anything Phar Lap had raced on. Despite this, on the 20th of March 1932, he managed to take out 1st place by 2 lengths with a new record with 2 minutes and 2.8 seconds. Unfortunately, Phar Lap died 2 weeks later, on the 5th of April 1932. He had returned to a ranch in San Francisco and died in the arms of his strapper, Tommy Woodcock. His cause of death is unknown to this day, even after multiple medical procedures had been carried out on Phar Lap. When the news reached Australia, it was felt as great loss and was the headline on every newspaper. His skeleton was returned to his homeland of New Zealand, his hide was stuffed and placed in Melbourne Museum, and his heart that weighed 6.2 kilograms, almost double that of a normal horse, was placed in the National Museum of Australia in Canberra. Phar Lap is significant to Australia's history because during the Great Depression, when people were suffering from the economic standards they were put under, Phar Lap became a symbol of hope. He gave the struggling people something to believe in, something for Australians to be proud of. Phar Lap was an underdog who reached the top of his game, coming from dead last to 1st place in 37 of his 51 starts.